Thanks for coming to hear the Quird on the Street. I am your grown host, Vince, and with me I've got my trend host, Josh. Every week we'll be choosing one of 28 words which were generated from the puzzle word game Quirtle and talking about whatever the hell we can based on those. Hey Josh, what's Quirtle?
Well, Vince, to understand Wordle, I think you need to understand what Wordle is. Wordle's a once a day game where players have 6 attempts to guess a 5 letter word. Feedback is given for each attempt in the form of color tiles that indicate if the letters are in the words and if they're in the correct position. Wordle's the same, but you're doing it 4 times at the same time. And that's where we get our 28 words from.
All right. And today we are choosing words from the week of April 17th to April 23rd. You can see what those words are on our Instagram at Quird on the Street and our Twitter, actually, Quird on the ST. So let's get right into the episode. I am starting this week, and my word is a little bit of a secret. I kept this secret from Josh so
Surprising
that
me.
you all can hear
My
his
reaction.
reaction
Oh,
because
boy.
I'm interested too. Boom, it's in the doc now. The word is moist.
Oh, man. What
That's right.
a Oh,
Yep,
that's
I did it.
I should have thought that you would have picked this.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing that I'll get into is that this is just it's sticky for me. Like it's something that just sticks in my mind. And the sort of topic, on high, the broad topic that I'll be talking about is just cringe. And I don't know, it's just great to me. So, how I want to start this is I'm just going to read you a list. I'm just going to go down a list and I want you to stop me when you hear a word that you are just uncomfortable with. Actually, before I do that, how do you actually feel about the word moist? Because I know it bothers a lot of people.
Words don't bother me.
No?
No,
Okay.
I can't. Well,
We'll see.
a
I
specific
got.
word, I can't think of any specific words that bother me. I can think of ways that people use words that bother me.
Okay. All right. Well, I just have a quick list. This is sort of an unorganized topic here, so I'm just going to sort of take you for a ride through my mind thinking about this topic, and we'll see where it goes. Um, so here's how we're going to start. I'm just going to read you a list. I found a list of 29 words of apparently, you know, uh, unsavory words. Unsavory in the sense that people are made uncomfortable by them. And I want you to go ahead and stop me or just react whenever you hear something that bothers you. And we'll see how you do on this. Right, here we go. Moist, said you're not bothered by it. Blog, lugubrious, yolk, gurgle, phlegm, fetus, curd, smear, squirt, chunky, orifice, maggots, vicious, queasy, bulbous, pustule, fester, secrete, munch, panties, vlog, clogged, vomit, jowls, dripping, roaches, mucus, slacks, slurp. Right, not a single
All the
reaction.
ones that I feel like people that would bother them, I find funny, like
Yeah.
smear and like squirt. Like all those are
Hmm.
just real funny to me.
Yeah, I was wondering like what is it that makes people have these reactions to these words? Is the actual like syllables of it? Because I
I
don't
think
think I
most of it is
connect to
what
that.
people associate them with.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's the
They're
context for me
uncomfortable
because
with the context.
there's some that get me. Like I think panties gets me, but that's because of the context. That is not because of the word
And I guess it could
itself.
be different. Maybe I don't notice it, it bothers me, but maybe that's my reaction is when things bother me that everything's funny. Like
Yeah,
maybe
it's
I'm psychologically trained myself that everything's funny. I don't know. That stuff I just really
maybe
find
it could be a defense mechanism.
could be. But I just find all that stuff really funny. Like I wouldn't be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, why are you using that word?" I
Yeah.
don't see myself being like that at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's where I wanted to start. See what sort of page we are on together and just move on because the word that obviously describes the reaction that people have to these words is cringe. And honestly, it's one of the things that I find fascinating about the internet. It's something that I think is a foundational pillar of the internet, the ability for people to cringe at things. Like we have this mechanism, secondhand embarrassment, that it's literally just cringe. It's what we're seeing on the internet. Starting from the very beginning, you see the Star Wars kid who's just swinging around a broom in his garage, and for some reason, it just makes us ooh. And it continues on to today. I mean, even like the most recent one is the TikToks that I've seen with people just going through their yearbooks from the year that we graduated, 2008, with that dude that's doing the like secondhand serenade song in the like Blink 182 voice. You know what I mean?
Tonight will be the night.
Yep.
Yep, I
Exactly.
love it.
It's cringe. It's great. So I wanted to know what if you see a video on the internet that cringes, or what is the last video on the internet that's just like straight up cringe, that or anything. Do you connect to this stuff, just like internet cringe?
I do, but I think it falls under the same category. Like I see all the things that people would mostly consider cringy, like I just see them as forms of comedy. So like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I guess I appreciate all the different forms of comedy that people come up with that are like, oh, that's fake or cringy or supposed to be like, you know, goofy. Or like I think the perfect example is kind of tied into the same thing with the emo's not a phase, it's a lifestyle
Hell yeah,
thing
the
where the guy,
roaring 20s.
yeah, it's
We're
not
bringing it back.
bringing it back. Like the guy we get into the like probably some of my favorite ones are like, you go to pick up your friend at their house to go do something, and like it shows you driving, and you pull up and you you stop to get them, and they get in the car, and you look over and they're just normal dressed and everything, and you're like, you want to listen to some music? And they're like, sure. And then you hand them the aux cord, and then you look back over and they just have black eyeliner on and like a hoodie with ripped thumb holes.
Fuck yes, playing some red jumpsuit apparatus.
Yeah, or the used, or
Hell yeah.
attack or something, just
Fucking Hawthorne Heights.
oh, brings me back to the Warp Tour days.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I have a little bit different reaction, but it's something. I know this is a phenomenon. I don't know what the name for it is, but it's like an opposition reaction to something. Like when I hear, cringe, there's something in me that just gets a little bit of joy from it. And it's not like Schadenfreude, where you're, happy that something bad is happening to someone else. It's literally just like, I don't know, it's a little bit of joy from the cringe that other people decide to put out in the world, because that's the other thing that I constantly think about is somebody had to record this, realize that it was cringe, and still post it.
Well, I
You
think
know,
people that think it's cringy, it's like they think it's stupid because they don't understand. A lot of them think it's stupid because they don't understand it. But like I
well,
said, it's like
the
everybody's perception of like comedy, or I guess it depends on
okay,
the creator's intent of the piece. Like you can, for
but do
me, I can
you
clearly tell that the person that's making the emo one and the one with the secondhand serenade song, like that was meant to be
Sure.
facetious. Like it was meant to be what it wasn't.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
maybe I just
those
look
ones
at
are
that more.
yeah, those ones are funny in context, but I'm talking about like people who record and post thirst traps have to know they're cringy, right? And they still record and post them.
Oh yeah, but they record and post them because it gets some views.
I guess. But this also got me thinking down that line. Like, what are some of the other things that I have sort of oppositional reactions to? You know, it's the sort of thing where you see something cute. You know, listeners, I have 5 cats. They're so cute. I just want to squeeze them until their eyeballs pop out. But I'm not gonna. I know I'm not gonna. But it is an impulse.
They are
And the other
adorable.
thing, yeah, the other thing that I have is like the same sort of joy that I get from cringe, I also get from like extreme melodrama. You know the band The Mountain Goats?
Nope.
It's just a sad boy band,
Okay.
like big like folk rock sad boys.
Okay.
Um,
It's
but
like
it's
the
just like the
Drake of the folk rock scene.
I guess, but just like big sad. There's a song called No Children, and the sort of punchline to the chorus is I hope you die. I hope we both die.
Oh.
And it's just it hits so hard and I'm just like, yes, this is my shit.
I mean, I get it. It's the thing. It's all about like connection and like how you feel about something. Like it's just
Yeah.
that's the thing. Is like people's perception is all about how they express their emotions. Like
Mhm.
you enjoy those things because it speaks to you about a specific feeling that you're having. It's like whether it be
Mhm.
you felt that exact way at some point, or you just resonate with it because you know that that's how other people feel, or you just enjoy that they're
Yeah.
putting that out into the world for people.
So yeah. Right. You enjoy how other people are doing. But what's also interesting is what you are doing. Because we've been talking about, you know, secondhand cringe, secondhand embarrassment, whatever. But I want to really dig down. What is like a foundational cringe moment in your own life? I I can think of one.
One
If you can't think of one, I'll go first.
one that I did that was cringy, or
No, no, no. No, no, no. I want you to tell me something that like one of the things that it embarrassed you enough to sort of change how you are.
oh man,
Cuz
that's
I have something. It's not a big moment. It was in I don't know, high school, some English class or something. It's literally like not a huge moment. It's just something happened. I don't know. And I just remember laughed out loud in class. And somebody was just like, "Yeah, it's not actually that funny." And it absolutely destroyed me. I mean, you you know me, you know, you're
yeah,
my
yeah,
best friend. Do you notice like I don't
yeah.
like
You don't
laugh
laugh out
out
loud that
loud
much.
very much?
No, yeah, you
Uh,
definitely don't.
if I'm alone, I laugh out loud.
You cackle.
But it's literally yeah, absolutely. I giggle.
Yeah.
But it's literally something about that one memory. I've been thinking about it all day today. Something about that one memory changed how I interact when I perceive that there's an observer.
Hmm.
Like I I deliver mail. I'm a mailman and I will just like you know, be listening to a podcast with a comedian, be laughing. As soon as I open the door, it doesn't matter, windows down. As soon as I open the door, I am a more reserved person. And it's
Hmm.
just something about that. I really think it comes down to that one foundational experience of someone just going like, it's not actually that funny.
Yeah, I never really thought about it like that.
God, breaks me down. You have anything like that?
Not
You may not.
specifically. I think on that front, for me, it was more like I think I worked too much in retail and stuff for like
Mm.
that stuff. Like I feel like I've kind of just been shocked into everything being okay and not caring because I just interacted with so many people so much. Like basically
Yeah.
since the time I got out of high school until this my most recent job, like I've been behind a counter in some form or another dealing with, you know, hundreds to thousands of people a week. So I don't
Yeah.
know, I would say the only thing I mean, I guess I'll get into this um because it's kind of the same thing. It's not really cringy, I wouldn't say,
So,
but I would say something that affected me. I don't know, is that
yeah.
kind of what you're going with? Same,
Oh yeah.
just some um so like I watched my sister and her ex-husband kind of get into a big argument when they were both just really drunk one night, and like I was younger, and like
Yeah.
that made me not want to drink. So like I did not drink from until I was like 25 ish. I think was like when I like really started to opening up to the idea, just because like I didn't want to be that kind of
Yeah.
person.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like
At least that's the
I don't know
yeah.
if
At
I
least
was
that's the
gonna be
right.
violent or anything, so I didn't want to do it. So that affected me in that aspect where I wasn't sure how I would act. Like I'm not a small human being by any means, and like if I was angry or violent from drinking, like it could have negative implications on not only my own self but others.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least that's the right impulse to have. You know, a lot of people get stuck in the rut of well, that's just how things are, and then they do it themselves.
Yeah, no,
So,
that's not okay.
all right. Well, that was where I wanted to go, and I knew that it would get a little heavy, a little embarrassing. So I wanted to do what I labeled in the doc here as ear bleach. It's a segment that I'm just going to straight up steal from another podcast, comedian Pete Holmes' podcast. You Made It Weird. So now I want to ask you, what is the time in your life that you can remember laughing the hardest?
Oh, this is easily,
Let's hear it.
easily. And you've heard this story a absolute 100 times. I told it at Matt's wedding, and it is we had a party in high school at a friend's house, and this was during the time that I did not drink.
Okay,
And
yeah, sure, sure.
Vince and our friend Matt and multiple others of our friends were all there. We were in our friend's garage, uh, under the safety of his parents, and you know
Uh-huh.
there were some beverages had by everybody else, and our friend Matt was a little bit intoxicated. Now I had brought my, you know, me being the nerd that I am, I had my television, and I had my PlayStation 3, and I had my games, and we were playing video games, and we had Madden, and Matt was a little bit inebriated, and he sat down to play, and he looks over at me after about
Uh-huh.
20 minutes and goes, you know, I can deal with the fact that the screen is spinning, but I can't figure out how hard to press the buttons. And to this day,
Yeah.
every time I think about that, I about fall out of my chair with laughter. I laughed for probably a solid 20 minutes. I barely kept my shit together at his wedding, telling that to the entire entire venue of people, because it just like what do you
It's
say to
so
that?
good.
It is so good because it just paints the perfect picture of how
Of
alcohol messes with people's perception.
of a person's first time getting drunk.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, it was just, oh, it's just chef's kiss of just,
yes.
oh. made me still. I'm grinning from ear to ear just thinking about
Absolutely. I remember most of that night.
it. Well, there was a funny part about you, but I spared you on that.
Yeah, yeah, we got time maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the little come down from my little exploration of cringe. So
I enjoyed it. That was a nice little deep dive into
yeah, I
moist.
mean, moist. It's just great.
Moist.
It's one of the things like cringing, just experiencing other people's embarrassment. It's just one of the things that just connects us all.
Now, a
You know.
real wonder will be how many people that listen to this are bothered by the episode because the word is moist.
I hope that people have a problem with hearing it and not reading it.
Oh, there's definitely
You know,
people that have a
like,
problem with it, with hearing it.
well, with hearing it, sure. I don't think we said it very many times, but
I mean, I definitely just said it like 4 times just now.
we'll be you sure did. I will be saying it once more next episode.
Uh,
But
well, for this week, for me, I went in I feel like this is kind of a wild one, and compared to what I've been picking, much more out there for me. I chose
abstract, I would say.
yeah, I chose graze as my word. Um, and you might think, how in the hell is he gonna pick up a topic with graze? But for me,
It's just going to be a big exploration of ruminants and how cows and deer
yeah,
digest grass,
yeah,
right?
it's actually just gonna be sound effects of me wearing a ASMR mic as I crawl through a field and chew on grass. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. No, but for me, graze can also mean, like you graze something, you skim it, and it's, us as humans, do we? I ask myself this question: do we graze through life? Like, do we just kind of skim through things? Um, and I feel like a lot of people, myself included, like you don't stick down to something or experience the full thing that is to offer with stuff.
Mhm.
Like I move on from things probably faster than I should, and I don't know if that's from society and how we're kind of trained now with everything being instant gratification,
Mm.
um, or if there's something to be said, or if maybe that's just me and I have severe ADHD that I need to plan out. But like,
Every time I see an ADHD meme, I'm like, this is personally insulting.
right?
It's like I've never been diagnosed or anything, but I'm like, damn it.
Well, and it's
It's,
like I wonder. It's like I know I would probably get diagnosed, but it's like, are the like growing up things that we talked
yeah.
about even before this podcast with like I do my best work while I'm watching or listening to something else.
Mm.
And like not being able to focus on a single thing at a time was a sign of ADHD. I
Mm.
struggle to focus on one thing. Like even when I am playing a game, most of the time I'm playing it and watching Netflix or doing something like for me to singularly focus on a specific subject by itself, it's difficult.
Mm.
And I don't feel
That could be a conditioning thing.
yeah, like I don't give myself the full reach of what's there. Um
Hmm.
so like what are some of your passions? Obviously I know some of them, but like what are things you're passionate
Yeah.
now about?
Um. I mean, it's kind of an impenetrable topic, but I am really, I would say my biggest passion is like fantasy novels.
Mhm.
It's impenetrable, so you won't get too big into it, but it's that, and then like if you're thinking hobbies or something that I can actually like dig down into and focus on, it's woodworking.
Yeah.
It's a big thing that I have to put my focus into, and like sure I have music going or whatever, but if I'm doing something that I need to really focus on, I have earmuffs on anyway, and I'm drowning out anything else other than this whatever 1 by 1 inch square that I'm working on. So yeah, it's something that it's something that I'm not predisposed to do either. Like this is something that I've had to, I made this specific decision to do it,
Yeah.
and it's an opportunity that not everybody has. Not everybody has the space that I have to do it.
That's true. But
So like I get how it's difficult to find these things, but yeah, it's making the decision to get something that you have to pay attention to the details of, that that will allow us to like really focus in.
but do you feel like you are giving it your full focus a lot of the time, or are you just kind of, as the word is, are you just kind of grazing what's there? Or like, do you feel like do you have a hunger to dive in and learn everything you can about it, or like, do you,
Oh yeah.
yeah, or do you feel like, because I feel like a lot of people just, they graze the surface of things and they grasp like portions of
Oh,
it and then they move on. It's like there's so much available
I
to us.
I think I consume things a little bit different way. Like I consume things deep. I consume a lot of things, and I consume a lot of things deeply. Like like I will binge on YouTube until I have an understanding. I literally like there's a YouTube channel, 3 Blue 1 Brown, that I just watched a series on calculus. I wasn't in college. I had no reason to learn it, but it was something that I rewatched a couple of the videos in order to really understand it. And it's that same sort of thing that brought me to woodworking though.
Yeah.
Like I watched woodworking videos, and it's sort of in my blood. My grandfather was a woodworker by profession. My father does it. And it's something that I started um, getting interested in, basically based off of the offshoot of the other things that I was interested in on YouTube, mathematics. Like once I found one YouTuber that really described woodworking in terms of real geometry and real mathematics, that's what got me interested in it. And then I consumed everything on that.
Yeah.
And I consumed it to the extent that I knew that it was what I wanted to do. Cuz yeah, I do skim across a lot of things. I graze a lot of things, lightly, and like it. But I also have this passion to really dig deep into topics to see if it's what I'm really into.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a difference in like to the type of people. Like I wonder if there's people that are dominant on a certain side of the brain, or there's anything to correlate with that, because like I'm the same way. Like I mean, you know me better than anybody. I do a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I find something and I'm like, I bet I could do that, and then into the rabbit hole I go, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out everything I can about that topic. I did I mean, for example, like Photoshop. I started doing that in 6th grade, like, and I became obsessed with to like digital design and figuring all that out. Then,
Yeah.
moving into like after high school,
Is okay,
video
so
games.
is that all you mean though? Like that you just jump from thing to thing? Because I wouldn't say that you're crazy on these things. You have a deep
No,
knowledge of
I don't.
Photoshop.
I'm saying I feel like a lot of people do.
Okay.
Like I don't graze on things. Like I have I have a hunger to learn more than I feel like a lot of people do from my conversations with people.
Hmm.
I come to I have a lot of things to say during conversations, and I feel like either people
Yeah.
don't want to say things or they don't. But I feel like I can be overwhelming when I talk about a subject because I want to know everything about it, and I force myself to do it. So like Photoshop, and I moved into MySpace,
Yeah.
freaked out about learning HTML, and I learned as much as I could about that. And then I got into the video game stuff. Needed to learn how to take a controller apart and solder the different colored LED lights into the controller. And then from there, it
Hmm.
was taking Xboxes and PS3s apart and re, restoring them, and then taking phones apart and iPads and
Yeah.
computers and like doing all that. And then moving when I moved down south and I started doing like the e-liquid stuff, like started out selling it, and then I how do I make it? I got to make my own. And I dove into deep dive into that, and then a deep dive into photography, and then a deep dive into cooking and
Yeah.
streaming. And
It's interesting. I don't know. I think I have a different perspective, or at least I I I have a more optimistic view of people. I think everybody has this one thing that they're passionate about, at least one.
yeah.
And like if you can just hear somebody talk about that, like hearing any random person talk about the one thing that they're passionate about is like always
Oh,
fascinating
it's
to me.
infectious.
So I don't know. It's it's weird. It's maybe a societal thing. Like this must be where fandoms and stuff come from too, because
Yeah.
everybody has these things that they're passionate about or and whatever, and people just end up, I think, finding the circles with other people who are passionate about them, and then just keeping them inside that arena in their life and not bringing it outside.
Yeah. And I guess you could kind of look at it at a broader scope too. Like, yeah, we deep dive into those things, but in the grand scheme of things, like we're only grazing what there's out there to offer. Like there's a lot of stuff that we
Mm.
don't pay any attention to and we don't have any interest in.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know jack shit about makeup.
I probably know more than I should, but that's just from watching certain videos and learning about.
You also you also work in marketing, so you have
Yeah,
to know something in order to take a well, you're into photography too. You need to know
exactly.
something
Yeah,
about
that's what I'm saying. So between
yeah,
marketing or
yeah.
photography, so like you learn all these little things. But like I feel like maybe our generation is better at it than we ever have been. Because of the
I don't
internet.
know. It's hard.
It
It's
is, but
really
you have to
hard.
think about it. Like I think back to like my parents, and like my dad has a very small set of interests,
Oh, yeah, sure, sure.
because of what was available to them.
But also, does he have a small set of interests, or is that the one, like, is traps the one interest that lasted into his later life?
I mean, I don't know. I guess that's a good question for him, but I don't know. This stuff just made me think about it in that mindset
Yeah.
of
I hear you. I think I think maybe now it's a little different, but there's a hunger. There was a hunger for people that wasn't being met for these sorts of things that you can really dig into, that you can really make a meal out of. When we were younger, the early internet, like it was all about short attention spans, probably because you couldn't transfer that much data across the internet. But like these things are grabby, they're catchy. Even TikTok, like you scroll through, you see the 15-20 second video and you scroll through, but there is a hunger. Uh,
yeah. There's more of a hunger.
indicated indicated by like long form podcasts. I mentioned earlier, like that podcast, You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes. It's they're typically like 3-hour podcasts.
I couldn't believe
And
it. My cousin listens to a podcast called Spittin' Chicklets. It's all about hockey. And it comes out every Tuesday, and it's 3 hours long. And I'm just like, Jesus. And he listens to it on his way to work, and then he listens to the rest of it while he's at work. And I'm like, man, I didn't know people were putting out 3-hour podcasts.
Oh my God, sports people are the biggest nerds, especially baseball. Hockey gets close, but baseball people,
Yeah,
they're paying attention to, what is the pitches per inning for this person.
What was the humidity outside, and how did that affect the bat?
What is the record number of curveballs that somebody threw on April 31st of 1972?
How many hot dogs did that famous Yankees fan that's at every game eat during this home loss? He's never allowed to eat that many hot dogs again.
Maybe we'll look at, beer sales during home losses versus away wins.
Yeah, right? Oh, man, that definitely gets into stuff.
Yeah, but I'm one to talk. I am listening to a full Homestuck podcast right now, so I'm not one to talk.
Yeah, I mean, I guess mine aren't that long, but like I watch hour-long podcasts on esports personalities all the time.
Yep.
Like that's one thing that I know fascinates me, that really I don't share that with any of my friends. Like my main group of friends, that none of them have the same affinity for esports as I do.
Mm-hmm. Have you found Down the Rabbit Hole yet?
I have not.
It's a YouTube series by this guy named Freddie Knudsen or something like that. He just like goes on these things about, I don't know, internet personalities. What reminded me of it is he does one on this dude Wings of Redemption, who was like a Call of Duty commentary YouTuber back in the day, and he would just like fly off the handle, and it's very funny and very sad, but they're very interesting videos.
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, that's another thing that really grabs me, that really crosses both of these lines. What am I passionate about, and what is really cringe? It's like conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
I love learning about.
Yep, so do I. I think you know what it is. It's just curiosity gets a little bit of everybody, I feel like.
Yeah.
Even if you believe it or not, like, there's just about everybody has just a little bit of curiosity to just dabble and see what the other side thinks. They're like, well, maybe.
It's the really harmless stuff that I'm really into, though. Like, why are ufologists really into owls?
That would be something you would be interested in.
It's really good.
Oh man.
Yep.
Oh,
that's where I go.
That is your personality in one question.
Yeah.
Man, that's perfect.
Yep. And with that, I think we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up. We want to go ahead and thank Josh Wardle, the original creator of Wordle, without whom, Quirtle wouldn't be around. And speaking of Quirtle, we'd like to also thank Freddie Meyer, the creator of Quirtle. He's at Quirtle on Twitter, and if you do the game every day, which I found out there's like 15 million people doing the game every day.
That's a ton, and he's added the achievements, which are awesome.
It's crazy. I know. So if you play the game every day, you like you listen to us and you like his work, go ahead and buy him a coffee.
Yeah, he definitely needs to get some more caffeine so he can keep up with all the server stuff. I'm sure he's got to have to go through with this amount of people playing and the updates that he's trying to do. Like, I don't know. I love the achievement stuff. Like especially when I started looking through them and like you could see my posts today. Like I was like, oh, I got par. Like I love how he tied that into golf, especially because we've been playing the PGA.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
oh, this is perfect.
That's funny. I didn't actually look through that. What is considered par on Wordle?
8.
8. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that 4 was considered a par on Wordle.
Yep.
But I didn't realize that he had
Yeah, I
attached
believe
that to
it was
Wordle.
8. Let me double check while I'm sitting here, but I'm almost positive.
While you go ahead and double check that, I'm gonna start reading off our socials. So you guys can find us on Twitter at Cord on the Cord on the Street, QUORD on the ST on Twitter because street is too long. On Instagram, you can find us at Cord on the Street. Go ahead and spell that all out. YouTube /Cord on the Street. If you're listening to us over there, go ahead and give us a like, a subscribe, and a comment. We'd really like to hear from you guys. And actually, that goes for all of our socials. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're listening to us and you like us, or you don't, and you have constructive feedback, go ahead and review us on Apple Podcast or wherever you can. What's the word? What's par?
Oh, yeah. 8 is par.
8 is par.
7 is the birdie, obviously. Wow. 6 is eagle, 5 is albatross, and 4 is God mode.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
You can also get wow, which is guess a word with 3 of the same letters in it. So far I'm at 19 out of 46 for the achievement so far. So
yeah,
definitely working my way towards them.
I'll have to take a look at that afterwards.
My favorite one that I'm kind of sad to admit that I have, and I'm not sure when, but it was probably I don't know if it kept track of like the very first one that I did or if something, but Are You Even Trying? And to lose a game with 4 missed words. Apparently I've done that. Because I have the achievement, but I don't remember missing 4 words. But yeah,
it must have counted like a day that you didn't play. There's no way.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely some cool stuff, and I'm sure he's gonna be adding more.
Yeah, absolutely. And go ahead and finish off by plugging our personal Twitters. I am at V_C. Spell out the underscore.
And I am at I'm Scuzzy. IMSKUZZEY.
And with that, all we can ask you to do is help to
get the cord out.